Hi, everyone. Welcome to our One World Peace and Energy Encounter with the Zohar. This week's portion is Ki Tetze. In our edition of the Zohar, it's volume 22, and we're again in Ki Tetze, and it's verse 57. So before we begin, as we often do, we want to set our consciousness to connect with the energy of peace for the whole world. Again, we're connecting through these verses to the metaphysical realm, the upper realm, the realm of miracles, and channeling that energy of miracles into our world. So we want to channel the energy of peace, specifically peace in Israel and peace between Russia and Ukraine, the freedom for all the hostages that are being held, also the energy of healing for all those that we know need healing. Chana bat Rivka, Sarah bat Malka, and Sarah bat Yehudit. Also, let's connect to the energy of Avat Chinam, unconditional love, treating everyone in the world with human decency, and removing chaos and negativity from our world. Okay, we're at verse 57. Let's invite in the lineage of Kabbalists to assist us. Rav and Karen and Michael, Rav Shlag, Rav Brandwein, the Uriah Kodesh, Rav Chal, Rav Tarfon, Rav Abam Zulai, Rav Menachem Mendel Vitebsk, Rav Kolonimus Shapiro Piasetzna, the Baal Shem Tov, Rav Shimon Bar Chaim, all the students, Rav Mordechai Chernobyl, one soul of Yosef at Tzadik in Shechem. Also, today is the anniversary of elevation of Rav Pinchas Shapira of Kuritz. So he was a big Kabbalist and contemporary of the Baal Shem Tov, although he considered himself a student of the Baal Shem Tov. I think the Baal Shem Tov considered him a contemporary. It's the story I heard. Okay, verse 57. The name of this article is Each Precept Includes the 10 Sfirot. Leit Pikuda, Dela it Kalilu Taman Asar Sfirot. Bateva Tachtiyim Shnayim Ushloshim Ta'aseh. Ha. La'achlala Ba'akwanim Leviyim V'Yisraelim. Teva Shechina Imahon Torat Hashem Ihi Rivi'i Tahin Ke Rivi'a Shuleshet Be'Yud Ke Vav La'ashlama Be'Yud Dal Vav Dal Basra Dargim Dit Kalilu Be Di'inun Yud Ke Vav Ke L'it Kaima Behu B'Yisrael V'atem Advekim B'Shem Elokechem V'gomer Banim Atel Hashem Elokechem Hashma Shultanute B'Tzolma D'Ranash V'Al Kol Ever V'Ever Delay. Okay.
No precept, but that has 10 something included in it.
Okay, so the title of this article, which is that first line, is "There's no precept that does not have all 10 sfirot in it." So a couple of things to think about. Like, first of all, what does even that mean? Is that just like a kind of cutesy little thing to remember? Like, hey, it's all one. I mean, it is, but to a certain degree, it's just important to remember that the things that we do are not empty. They're not void of purpose and meaning. We don't always merit to see what the purpose and meaning is behind the things that we do. But when it comes to directives, and what we mean by precepts are things that our holy writings tell us to do. When it comes to those precepts, the only purpose is to make the world a better place. If it's not making the world a better place, there wouldn't be a purpose. It wouldn't be happening. It's not pointless. It's not empty. It looks that way, and many times it's presented that way, but that's not the case. Within each precept is the 10 sfirot. So within each precept, we are creating unity in the world. That's the first thing. And the second thing is we're connecting to the whole spiritual design between where we are and where the Creator exists. We're literally creating to the emanations of the Creator into this world. And by connecting to that, we're uniting upper realm and lower realm. So it's really a powerful idea. There's so much that's there. A, it's a recognition that of the construct of reality, there are 10 levels of energy consciousness that are extensions of the creator that manifest in our world. B, when you do these precepts, you're connecting to all of them because they're all included within a precept. C, we're creating this unity between our world of Malchut and the 9 precepts above. And lastly, we're channeling blessings into the world by creating that unity. We're saying there is no separation between upper realm and our realm. That precept is creating that current, that unity, that flow of blessings and miracles from the upper realm. So that's a lot. So the first opportunity we have is just, we always want to strive to understand the significance of the things that we're doing. And so that's a tremendous opportunity that it provides us. It seems though kind of esoteric, right? Because like, okay, so I like the Shabbat candles. Let's take that as an example. Or maybe a better example is making Kiddush Friday night, because that's when we say the Kiddush, we're actually reading from the precepts of the Torah. So, all right, it's like, we start every holiday and Shabbat off with like lighting candles and saying Kiddush over the wine. Okay, so within those precepts are all 10 sfirot. Within those directives are all 10 sfirot. And so a very simple consciousness to have is like, I'm now channeling the energy of unity. I'm now creating more unity in our chaotic world. And by creating more unity, we're removing chaos. Because what's chaos? It's disunity. It's a misalignment. So again, another tremendous opportunity for us here is to remove the chaos from our world by connecting to these verses and having that in mind when we are doing specific precepts. Okay, let's continue, Roshan.
In the ark, it is written, with lower, second, and third stories shall you make it, to include it in it the priests, Levites, and Israel.
That's a great thing to know, right? Like, so all of a sudden we're back in Noah's Ark. Now we'll be reading about Noah's Ark probably a little over a month from now. It's the second portion of the Torah. So like after Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, when we return to the Genesis, first week will be Genesis, the second week will be Noah. So what conjures up, what do you conjure up when you think about the ark? What spiritually is that about? We have boating in our roots. Like, I don't think that's what it is. What is it? What is the boat? Anybody? Yes, Ron.
The boat's the Zohar, isn't it?
It is. What about the Zohar? What feature, is like back doing analogies in high school. What to the Zohar is like what to the ark? Like, what is it that they have in common? It's like a protective shield. That's what that's what Noah's Ark is all about. In a world of chaos, it's a protective shield. What? I mean, really? Yeah, that's exactly what was happening. The creator decided to, as the story goes, the creator decided there was too much negativity, so we're gonna destroy the world and rebuild the world from Noah and his sons. And so there was a flood that destroyed the world. Everyone who was hiding in the ark survived. So that's the story of the ark. How does that play out in terms of like our connection to and study of the Zohar? So we too are living in a world of chaos that looks like it's falling apart at the seams. And yes.
No, it gives us protection with the wisdom that we learn. And also, I mean, for me, whatever is coming to me is what I need to hear for the week coming. And maybe there's something in my character that I need to pay attention to, so I'm protected, so I don't do something stupid, or, or I'm ready for a blessing, but there's just one little thing that I need to do, so it's protecting me.
Have you ever had a situation come along and it didn't turn out well, and then it represented itself?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
What is that?
It's the light, the surrounding light. It's like, hello, you got to correct this really quick. Either for my own good, or there's a huge blessing coming. So you just need this one little thing. You just need to do this one little thing, or not do this one little thing, or change.
By the way, I had an interaction with someone a few months ago. It didn't go well.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got another opportunity to have the same interaction.
Interesting.
And it went much better.
But it's supposed to, right? Like it's if it's the same person in the same situation, it's almost like the creator saying, I'm giving you another opportunity, but you better take this opportunity.
I know, but it didn't go so well last time.
Well, the first time, right? But the second time, here's another opportunity. But it's kind of strong, like it's a strong, because sometimes we'll do something and then a second opportunity won't come along for a while.
It doesn't work at all.
Or at all. But
what does it mean what does it mean when it comes along the second time?
We got to fix it.
Well, it also means that there must be something big going on.
Yes, right. Right.
Right? It's like a merit to get an opportunity to correct what didn't go right the first time.
Now, is that to correct the interaction or your connection with the person, or is it something you have to correct? We don't know.
What do you think?
It's something that we correct ourselves, within ourselves.
Always.
But then it's also with the other person. I mean, if there's something that, there's a contract with that person, it just as a friend or whatever, and it happens again, we want to take care of it. We just do. I mean, there's just something special about that.
But you can't back away from that. It's not always easy to know, though. Okay, so I want to say that the question you asked is, so it's a great question. Like, what is that about? Is it about them? Is it about me? Is that both? I mean, yes. But I would argue it's also about, like, and you don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's also about all 10 precepts. Excuse me, all 10 sefirot are in that also.
Okay.
And if it's a recurring pattern, we know that the universe it's important for us. Otherwise, it wouldn't be happening again.
Yeah.
Like, it's an opportunity for us to, I don't know, like, how many lifetimes am I correcting here?
Maybe
it's a
many.
rhetorical question, because there's no way we can know, right?
Right.
So, part of what's going on here, a part of the opportunity we have in this section for ourselves and our own growth, is the realization of the significance of things that we do and the experiences that we have. Like, that's what we came here for. We didn't come here, yeah, came here certainly to accomplish a lot, but we came here to be engaged in process. Mm-hmm. That's why, in the first Kabbalah class that we talk about, it's like, we're being taught to pause, and when a challenge comes along, and then remind ourselves, what an opportunity. Because that is what your soul is saying. Unfortunately, because of body consciousness, we don't see that depth. But here we get the opportunity to grow in that way, to see that depth, to see that every precept has all 10 sefirot. And the things that are recurring patterns that are happening in our life are, it's, when we see it's a recurring pattern, we need to remind ourselves, this is not happening to me, this is happening for me, this is my opportunity. to pause and say, what an opportunity. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm getting another chance to work on this. And especially if like some kind of great blessing comes out of it, we should only merit to see that also, right? And so, but we don't know, like we don't know the impact of these things. And when we're stuck in our reactivity, and I think this is my point, why didn't it go well the first time? Because my ego was involved. You know, I wasn't getting the right recognition. I was getting defensive. It was triggering my insecurities. all that and more. Like, we're not aware. We're not aware of when our insecurities are being triggered. Because all of a sudden we go from like this connection to the light to a disconnection from the light. When we get reactive, we're disconnected from the light. We're not seeing the significance that's going on because we're just so caught up in our own ego consciousness that we're not even hearing what's happening. We're not even perceiving what's happening. So there's a lot here, but I think it's a great takeaway, great thing to think about. Again, the significance of the things that go on in our life, the opportunities that we have to fix things that have gone on with other people. And I just want to point out, sometimes fixing things that have gone on with people is creating a high boundary, an impenetrable boundary. Sometimes that's also what's going on. And sometimes it's like I need to invest time and energy, re-inject myself into a situation. How do you know the difference? How do you know when it's something I'm supposed to involve myself with, or it's reminding me to erect a higher boundary, a stronger boundary? So again, it's like we want to pause and remind ourselves there's an opportunity and try and be reflective, and then have a proactive response and not a reactive response. And ask the light for help so we can further, do a greater job assessing. So, okay, so what's the arc though? The arc is our energy of protection. The reason why the Zohar for us is like the arc is because when you're connecting to the Zohar, you're connecting to your soul. When you are present to your soul and present to what you came here to do, the universe doesn't need to remind you by slapping you on the side of the head. The chaos that's visited upon us is to help us wake up to what's going on. So if you're waking up to what's going on, you don't need the slap in the face. You get essentially energy of protection. It's not like random energy of protection. Oh, I connect to the Zohar, I'm protected. That doesn't make any sense. Don't I have to play an active role? Well, yeah, I'm reading the Zohar. No, yes, but I'm reading with the consciousness that I'm making a soul connection so I can navigate the things around me more purposefully, more meaningfully, without an ego attached. And then the universe is like, well, I guess, you don't need the slap on the head. You don't need the speeding ticket. You don't need the, computer crashing. You don't need the relationship conflict. But when we're tied up in our ego, the universe will send us a relationship conflict. The universe will send us chaos. Make sense?
It's big. It's really huge because we live in so many layers of things all the time. We connect dots at different layers of our consciousness, like if we have one. But it's a lot.
Absolutely. Well put. Absolutely. So again, big opportunity from in general, but specific to this section. And a big opportunity because like doing the work that we do, just showing up to study the Zohar together, it's just so powerful in forming a deeper connection with our soul. So we're more present. Like that soul connection, it's almost like, hitting the map app on your phone. Like you get back in the old days when I would have to drive out somewhere I'd never been before. Yeah, how did we get there? I think it's, Roshin and I are perhaps maybe, well, at least I'm one of the oldest guys here. Like, there wasn't computers. So like you would call, okay, I'm coming to visit you. Like, how do I get there? And they give you directions and you write them on a piece of paper that was torn off with a pad, or I don't know. You'd have the directions on that piece of paper and you would look at them, drive them. You don't have what you have now. It's all computerized. The map apps are showing everything that's going around. You have plenty of reference points. You didn't have any reference points. You had a piece of paper with scratch notes. Like that's how you got from point A to point B. And then if you got lost, what would you do? You'd look for a gas station and ask for directions. Like you can't do that today. They were full service gas stations, so that was one of the services they provided, I guess. Now it's like I plug it into my car and off I go. So like I'm using that as to analogize, like what's the benefit of the Zohar? The Zohar is like this GPS system for my life. Not that it's showing me what to do, it's just helping me connect more deeply to my soul. And that is my supernal GPS system. It's like we want stronger connections with our soul. Stacy, do you want to say something? Okay. I thought I saw your hand up. Okay. Any questions about that? So what's the deal with the ark? Now that we understand what the ark is. The ark had, from the story of Genesis, the ark had lower, second, and third stories. So Noah's just not building a canoe. It's a very large canoe that's covered and it's 3 levels. So what the Zohar tells us is, yes, of course it has to be level to include the priests, Levites, and members of Israel. So within the children of Israel, there are Kohanes, priests, Levites from the tribe of Levi, and just regular Israelites from the other tribes. Just one problem. They didn't live during Noah's time, so what are we talking about? The ark was built way before that. It doesn't add up at all. So the Zohar goes on to say that those priests, Levites, and Israelites who are Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferet. Okay, so the Zohar is telling us, no, that's code. Those 3 levels were for the level of Chesed, mercy, the level of Gevurah, judgment, discernment, appreciation, and the level of Tiferet, balance, restriction. So that's why, and so how does that tie into the earlier line? It ties in because just like every precept is tied into all 10 sfirot, all 10 energetic levels of emanation from the Creator, so too, even when you build an ark, it was connected to the 3 sfirot, the Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferet. And so even in the things that we do, it's not like no one is out there building an ark, but we are all working on manifesting certain things in our life. It's like we always want to maintain that connection to the 3 columns. Well, we want Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet to be there and in balance. That's what we want. We want to be merciful. We want to be discerning and appreciative. And we want balance between those 2. If we have an overabundance of mercy, it's too much. It's not balanced. If we have an overabundance of judgment and discernment, not going to sustain. We need all 3 in all the things that we do. And again, this goes to removing our ego. And so when we find ourselves being too judgy, the universe is going to have to come around and remind us we're being too judgy. But if I can show up and with balance, and really, I think that this is what we mean when we say we're trying to ground ourselves. Like if you have an experience that gets you all like riled up. I had one yesterday with Comcast. I can't even. It's rarely a pleasant experience. I don't know how they do it. How do they consistently upset people? I mean, they're not setting out to do that.
I moved to T-Mobile. I can't deal with Comcast.
Well, this was for I would have to go into the story, and I'm not going into it, but I hear that. Yeah, my phone is with AT&T, but my cable is Comcast. Yes, Stacy.
So are you saying that these interactions with like Comcast or, you know, whatever it might be are really like those foundational things of spiritual transformation?
Well,
Yeah,
in my case, I got upset and I hung the phone up. So,
That was not transformation.
so I didn't transform. I wasn't transforming. I was completely reactive. I mean, I wish I could tell. I can't tell the story. It's way too personal. But it's like you'd have hung up too. Believe me.
Oh, I have.
I know. I'm just saying, like. I mean, the problem is that I had been on the phone with them for 40 minutes already, and I was out of time. And then they came up with the most ridiculous solution in the world. I have to change the title, the ownership on an account. Like, I please remove you from this account. And they're like, well, you both have to show up at a live Comcast location with your driver's license, with picture IDs. I'm like, you're out of your freaking minds. Anyhow, yes, Suzanne.
No, it's one of those weeks. It's really intense. I mean, you and I both have the cancer thing in common, you know, that sign. It's intense, man. And I've had not one, but multiple occasions. There's actually one thing that was ongoing from this summer, like with an agency, you know, some kind of agency that you're looking for some help. And, you know, there's just bureaucracy. And then this week it turned into, oh my God, I actually had the letter I was looking for. But it was just labeled as something else, right? So I was confused. But anyways, I'm like, oh my God, I have it. I don't have to like be on hold for hours. You know what I mean? Asking for these letters. And, you know, there's a lot of Blue Cross, this, that, whatever. It doesn't matter. But anyways, just it's methodology. But there's other things that are clearly showing me my hot buttons and my impatience. So I obviously came to the planet to learn patience. There's no question about it. And tolerance. Oh my God. And then, you know, let's not forget this week was the debate. I mean, I couldn't watch it because it made me infuriated. I was enraged. I had to get off after a couple of minutes. I'm like, I can't watch this because I'm just
That's not healthy.
terrible.
It's literally not healthy. I mean, unless you take a sedative ahead of time. You know,
no, for me, it wasn't good. You know what I mean? I have to just go somewhere and pray, like, and get centered, right? Because it brought so much up.
It's a great point. And I think, the point of all this is like, we're going to get triggered. We're going to get bent out of shape. Comcast is going to tick us off. And so is the election cycle and all that comes along with it. And we want to find ways to ground ourselves. And literally, we ground ourselves with connecting to the tools that we have, the Zohar being a big one. But in that context of that grounding, it's like we are reconnecting to that balance of the 3-column system. But we're going to react, but hopefully we get another opportunity to correct. And I just want to say the other thing that goes on, because this is the month of Elul, of Virgo, and we're preparing for the year to come, things are going to come up that are this is a time where prior things come up to give us a chance to correct for things the last time around. It's really the energy of the month. It's that opportunity. So a lot of what we're experiencing is, everything we experience is by design. But in this particular month, one of the things our teachers tell us is that we get the opportunity to work on things that we may have messed up earlier on in the year. So be on the lookout for those things, right? Okay, let's continue with English.
The ark as a whole which is the Shekhinah, is with them.
Aha. So when we are in balance, when the three column system is in balance, we are connecting to the energy of the Shekhinah, this feminine energy aspect of the Creator, which is energy of protection and healing and nurturing. So right here in this context, as we're connecting to these verses, we're connecting to that energy of healing, of nurturing, of protection. And again, it's not just because, it's not luck. It's we're doing something proactively to open up that channel. In this case, it's studying the Zohar. But it might just, be sharing a kind word to somebody. It might just be pausing and doing something proactive in an interpersonal, potentially conflicting situation. Okay, keep going.
The Torah of Hashem, which is the Shekhinah, is the fourth part of a hymn, namely fourth to Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferet, a fourth letter in the name Yud-Kei Vav-Kei.
Okay, so we have this three column system. And we have this, what the Zohar calls the Torah of Hashem. Literally in the Aramaic, it's Torah Hashem. It's Torah Yud Yud, but Yud Kei Vav Kei. So there's actually so much here to really think about. The first thing is that Torah is also a level of protection that we have. It's this supernal system. It's like a delivery system for the energy from the upper realm. So, which is why every opportunity we have, like on a Shabbat morning, to connect to the reading, it's the most important thing that we need to do. It's injecting order into our lives and into the world. And by injecting order, it's removing chaos for the week to come. It's a powerful, powerful tool. And yes, we make those connections with the Yud-Kei, with the Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet, the three column system, but we also make that connection with the Torah. And so the Zohar goes on to say, I'm not sure what a hin is, H-I-N, but it goes on to say it's the fourth part, meaning it's in addition to Chesed, Gevurah, Tiferet. It is Zeron Pin. It is the six Sfirot that are directly above our realm of Malchut. And so the Zohar is saying that's the fourth letter in the Yud Kei Vav Kei. Let's continue.
It is troubled by receiving the three letters Yud-Kei Vav to complete it into a name of four letters, Yud-Kei Vav-Kei. 10 grades are included in it, namely, it receives them for the sake of Israel, which are Yud, Vav, Dalet, Kei, Aleph, Vav, Aleph, Vav, Kei, Aleph. 10 letters through which it shall be fulfilled in Israel.
Okay, so 10 grades. So the whole idea we talked about at the outset is there are 10 levels within every precept that we follow. The 10 levels are there. And the Zohar is saying the 10 levels are also in the Tetragrammaton, which is a 4-letter word. But when you spell it out, in other words, the letter K is spelled K Aleph, phonetically. So when you spell out the letters phonetically, you have Yud Vav Daled, which is Yud, that's 3. You have K Aleph, which is the first K is 5. Vav Aleph Vav, the Vav, which is another 3 letters, is 8, and K Aleph, the last K, is 10. So when you spell it out, you have 10 letters. And so it's saying it also connects to the 10 Sfirot. It's also a name that creates all this unity. By contrast, we see a world that's fragmented, that's broken into pieces, everything is separate. And by connecting to the Yud Kei Vav Kei, and like this, every time we say a blessing, and we connect to Yud Kei Vav Kei, we're connecting again to all 10 Sfirot. it's not only when you spell it out, but we know because our teachers have told us that the first yud is chokhmah, the first K is bina, the vav of Zeranpin are the next 6 sfirot, and the final K is malchut. That only actually owns up to 9. So like, where's Keter? So as has been explained to us in their Zohars on this, Keter is analogous to when you go to write the first yud with a pen, and it puts an indentation in the page before the ink comes out. That's Keter. It's seed level. So actually, the K is Chokhmah, but it was also Keter in a hidden way. So again, the Tetragrammaton on multiple levels is connecting us to these 10 aspects of reality that are extensions of the Creator. And by connecting to them, and when we study this, we're studying the structure and design of our reality. Thereby, what we mean our reality. These are extensions of the Creator. So we're literally connecting consciously to the energy of the Creator. When we study the Sfirot, when we study the names that are extensions of the Creator's light, we are studying the Creator's light. We are studying the Creator. We're closer to the Creator. So there's a huge amount of unity that we have the opportunity for and that we are creating with the light of the Creator when we study this type of material. When we open our consciousness up to this deeper reality. And thereby, again, through that connection, channeling blessings into our world. Okay, keep going.
But you that did cleave of Hashem, your Elohim.
And that's what I'm saying. Like by knowing the Creator, it's like a connection. And the Torah refers to that connection as the veikut, as cleaving. The more we know the Creator, the more we exhibit the Creator's features, the more we know about the construct of reality, the closer we are to the Creator. Go ahead.
You are the children of Hashem, your Elohim. For this name, Yud-Keh Vav-Keh, fully spelled with olives, has dominion over the image of man and over each and every limb of his.
So that spelling of the Yud-Keh Vav-Keh that we read about earlier, those 10 letters, it's spelled with olives. So there's different ways of spelling the Yud-Keh Vav-Keh when you spell each letter out phonetically. And it's not just some like poetic thing that we're doing. It's connecting, and this is like a big one. It's connecting to a different aspect of the Creator's light. There are multiple ways of phonetically spelling out the Yud-Keh Vav-Keh. You can do it with olives, which is we did in this case. And so, for example, the second letter K and the fourth letter K, in this example is spelled K Aleph, which phonetically is hey. But it could be KK, hey. And that is a different extension of the light of the Creator. So we have all these unique opportunities. That light of the Creator, it's different. Chesed is different than Gvura. In this fragmented world that we live in, the light of the Creator is extended to and shows up in different ways. And again, it goes back to the introduction of Kabbalah, where you see the light going through a prism and multiple colors coming out at the other side. That's our world, multiple colors. Fragmenting the light. The prism fragments the light. So in our world of physicality, the light shows up as fragmented, so we don't see it as accurately. And so we have to become more heart-centered to feel the energy of love, which is an extension of the Creator, to feel the energy of security, which is an extension of the Creator, feel the energy of partnership, all these positive things of health, of joy. All these things are extensions of the light of the Creator that show up here in fragmented ways. And we have to work to make that connection. And we have to work to consciously connect to those things. And that's what we mean by has dominion over the image of man and over the image of each and every limb. Like everything that we experience is an extension of the light of the Creator. The light is in everything. You have the spark of the Creator within you. That's your soul. And so this whole section on multiple levels, but it brings up a lot of things and a lot of opportunities. But we're out of time, so let's just close with this idea that remind yourself that you have a spark of the Creator within you. No matter what's going on, no matter up or down you are, it's like I want to maintain my groundedness. And one way of maintaining that groundedness is understanding that everything's happening for us, everything's coming from the light, and we have that spark of the light within us, that soul. Okay, everybody. Shabbat shalom. Love you all. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
That was awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom, everyone.